You also got to deal with the fact that you feel invisible a little bit because maybe you don't like talking to others. Maybe you're quiet. Maybe you work hard, but you don't feel like what you're doing is being noticed enough, or what you're doing is being recognized, which is a normal thing, which sucks to say. Because I know me personally, coming up in the military as a young man, right? I came in when I was 17, and I got promoted to rank of a sergeant at 20. Imagine a sergeant in the military at 20, and the legal drinking age is 21. I remember when I got promoted, I got teased because I used to give little briefs, but I wasn't even 21 yet. Funny to think about. But the thing that I liked most is recognizing my fellow employees. Because when you're working hard, when it seems like both of you are in the grind together, sometimes you fail to recognize some people. And that may be what you're going through right now, right? But you also may not be clear on what your goals are, who you are. Why are you even working at that job? Who are you doing it for? Is it for just to get day by day? Is it to make a little bit of extra money? Is it to make your life better? You need to get clear on those goals of why you're actually there, of why you're actually doing things. Otherwise, you're just going to be going in a circle of just working and working and working for no reason. You're working, which is good, yes, but eventually you're going to burn out and you're just going to get miserable and depressed because you don't know why you're there. You just got the job because the money's good. But you wonder why you feel sad every time you go to work. You wonder why you feel depressed every time you go to work. You wonder why your boss doesn't seem to not recognize you. You wonder why people tease you because maybe you're always looking sad, or maybe you're always looking a little bit too focused and not paying attention to what others are doing, right? There is a misconception when it comes to this. Now, I'm going to break it down. Hard work and aligned work, right? Let me go on my thought put behind hard work is, or what I think about it. Hard work is essentially you working hard every single day to get a task done. You, if it's something you don't want to do, you just kind of brute force your way through it without paying attention to how you feel. Even though that matters, yes, it sucks. Maybe it's something that doesn't align with who you are, but you don't care. All you care about is getting the work done. Now, with the line work, meaning that it aligns with who you are, the more clearer you find out who you are, the more clearer you get to the base foundation of who you are, the more clearer you get about your goals, which I recently looked at this video where I kind of took away the idea of goals because I don't really believe in them anymore. I believe in principles now. I get into that in another video. But you need to get to the base level of your principles in order for you to find the work that align with you. Now, what comes with align work? You're happy when you go to work, but let's be honest. In reality, you're not going to be happy every single day. But majority of your days, you're going to be happy to go to work. You're going to have a little more prep in your step. You're not going to be as social because you're still introverted, but you're going to be a little bit more social than normal, right? That's the difference. Hard work, you just working the work. You don't care. You don't care about the job itself. You don't care. You may care a little bit, but you don't really care about the people you work with. All you want to do is work and go home. Think about how it was after World War II, how our great 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 grandparents or great grandparents, however many greats there are, and all they did was work and go home because that's just who they were back then. They were tough. All they wanted was a good job, a family, and a home to stay in. But they wasn't happy. Maybe they some were. There's always those exceptions to the rule, right? but I'm pretty sure majority of them aren't happy at their job. But they did it anyway because of the money, because of what that lifestyle brought them. Whereas if they did something they aligned with, then they'll be more happy, right? It'll make life a lot more fulfilling to do stuff that you love to do. And some of the things that helped me figure out more about myself is looking back. I'm big when it comes to introspection. Meaning I'm big to when it comes to observing my past behaviors over time. I recently asked my mother how was I growing up as a kid, and she told me that I was quiet, I was weird. I was the type of kid who only came out when the dinner came out, or when I needed to go help clean up something, or when my mom went to the store and I just wanted something from there, or when she wanted me to go as well. But I was also like a big gamer, right? Like some of you are maybe. Gaming not wrong, but I kind of grew out of that because I care more about not about my future, but the goals I want to achieve, that matters more to me than gaming, right? So I kind of gave that up. Now, this introspection allowed me to focus more on my future and my present self and use what I learned in the past in order to go to the future. Because if you just go through stuff in life, you don't learn from it, you don't document it, then you're just going to repeat the process over again. And think about it like this. Have you ever heard the saying that some people need to hear things 3 times in order to learn? If you do introspection, if you inspect your life, start from when you was maybe a kid until now, right? How about where you are, bro? Then you understand the stuff that you did back then, and you will learn from those lessons instead of letting it happen again. Now, for you to be better, for you to grow, you need to kind of create a deeply belief within yourself or a identity shift, right? Personally, the idea of an identity shift don't really align to me, but for majority of people it does. I think of identity as setting meaningful goals because I think of identity as fluidity. It's like water. Wherever you set your purpose to, that's where your identity will go to, right? But you need to find an identity shift as to who you are now to who you want to become. Think about it. People always want to be like somebody they look up to, whether it's could be a dad, a firefighter, a police officer, a astronaut, a political figure, somebody, a movie star, whoever, like maybe a cartoon, right? But you don't become that person. You take what they instead of becoming that person, right? You take what you can take from them and make it into your own and kind of fuse it with yourself. That is that identity shift you need. Take the good from everyone that you look at, which for me, they say you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with, but personally, I don't hang out with no one. I listen to podcasts. But what I do, I take what I like from podcasts and I try to bring it into myself and for myself to grow. I learn what I learn from podcasts and I use it out in the world to help others and myself grow, right? Which is why when I get new information, I get excited because I fucking love to pass it to others. Like I love to pass to you now this information. Maybe you can't feel the amount of happiness, not happiness, thrill I get from passing this to you. But it's information others can use to grow and be better, and that's why I enjoy about it. Right? Also, you need to develop something of a spiritual discipline. I'm not talking about religion, just something that helps you keep going day by day by day. For me, simply, the reason why I want to grow my purpose, right, is just to make my future self proud, my past self happy. Because where I'm at now in life, I dreamed of being a Marine. I dreamed of being a drone shooter like I am now, since I was like a young whippersnapper, right? But what's next? What's next on my goal list? I keep that to myself. I don't believe in putting my goals on the world. But you need to find some way to find the baseline of how you want yourself to be a spiritual discipline so you don't quit, so you don't give up. Who are you doing it for? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for your mom? Are you doing it for your dad? Are you doing it for your girlfriend? Who are you doing this for? Or are you just fucking doing it for no reason? You need to find a way just to want to be better. It's just something about that. And all that to say is that you should not rely on motivation. As you heard, motivation is like water. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. A lot of people are afraid to start because they have this preconceived notion in their head of others, of what they would say, of how they would judge them. But what they don't understand is that those people won't be around. They're gonna laugh a little bit, yes, but once you fucking make it, then who are they laughing at? Themselves. Because they're afraid to start. They're afraid to take that jump into the unknown because they're afraid what others would think of them. They're afraid of what could happen, maybe. That preconceived notion or preconceived idea of how you think others will perceive you should be non-existent because you're doing this for you. You're doing this for your mom. You're doing this for your dad. You're doing this for your little brother, for your little sister, whoever. You're not doing it for fucking them. Do they pay your bills? No. They're going to die. You're going to die. So are you really going to allow them to take you away from your dream all because of their thoughts about what you do, about what you say, about your thoughts, about your ideas, about your concepts? If they do, just fucking laugh it off. Just say, yeah, you're right. But fucking deep inside, you know that you fucking got it within you. You know the beast that you are. Right? And if you don't achieve your goals, if you don't fucking go for what you want, then what's the fucking point in living? What's the fucking point in you wanting to achieve your goals, wanting to achieve your dreams? What's the fucking point? Why would you want to fucking live like everyone else? Why would you fucking want to be the 99%? You shouldn't. You should want to be better. Now, if you like, you can book a 15-minute, I want to say free phone call with me in the link below and Calendly. Just pick a date and I'll talk to you, help you figure out your goals, as well as I have an execution system that I created. If you like for $197, which is not that much, and essentially it will help you get a more deeper insight into yourself, and help you develop habits that make you better in 30 days. Which this system that I created is a lot better than a majority of systems out there, right? But in the end, I want you to understand is that don't allow others' fucking opinions to take you away for something that you fucking want. In the end, they're not going to be there. They're going to die eventually. And the only person who will be able to judge you is God himself and yourself. There's nobody else except for you.